Okay, Ford Injector, 6.0 liter, 2003. I'm going to start with this thing. It's just a block of steel I squared and cut in half. Well, and drill the hole in and put a keyway on. Anyway, you can make these yourself. I think this cost me about, I don't know, about $3 to make. So this is why it's keyed, because you have to hold the injector right here. So it slips right in that little notch right there like that. See? I don't know if you guys can see that or not. So anyway, you put your other half on. Okay, and we're going to take the nut off first. That's this part right here. We're going to take this other part off next. Okay, and that's your solenoid. There's a little spool valve in there. These little bunny ears, they clip off once you take that through bolt out. They clip off. Okay, and there's a little gasket right there. We're going to take that off, and these O-rings. Okay, you'll notice the tip. It's actually not that bad. It's pretty clean. Okay, even this body of this injector is pretty clean, but we're still going to go through it because I want to make sure they're good before they go in my truck. Anyway, first time you squeeze this, you've got to squeeze it pretty tight because you don't want it to turn, but you don't want to squeeze it too tight, and I'll tell you about that why later. Okay, but it's still pretty tight. Shouldn't wiggle in the vise. Anyway, this is 1/16" wrench. It's an old Brico wrench, made in China. It's not even as good as Brico, and Brico hasn't been around for 10 years. So, but it's a great wrench as long as you're nice to it. Don't beat on it with a hammer. Even the cheap ones will last you. So I got two choices. I can crack the nut now and then take that off after. But if you do that, the nozzle sticks on here. So I like to take that little washer off first. And I got a little tool, a little hammer here that I had. Somebody put a handle on for me, and they did a really good job, actually. I love it. It's an oak handle. Anyway, so we're gonna tap this off here just to get under it. You barely even need to tap it. Okay, and once you get under it, you can just rock your way around it a little bit and try to bring it up as even as possible. These can be measured and inspected and reused if they're not too compressed, but generally, it's just a good rule to change the darn thing for the $1.50 it costs you to do that. Okay, so now there's nothing on that tip. We're going to take our 1 1/4" or 1 1/16" wrench. This nut is torqued to 60 foot-pounds, so it's actually pretty tight. So, and it's critical that you do torque these back up when you put them back together. You can't just tighten them with a wrench. You have to use a torque wrench. Okay, so I'm just going to crack the nut loose. You can hear it crunch a little bit there as it released. You can take the O-rings off first if you want, but I'm just going to make the nut loose first, and then I'll take the O-rings off. Okay, because I can disassemble everything at the same time. So anyway, you take an O-ring off, just pinch it on the sides and push it forward. It makes a bow in the front of the O-ring, and then just hook it with a hooked pick. These O-rings 90% of the time are completely reusable. Okay. You have to inspect the O-ring, make sure it's round and it's not chamfer shaped. Okay, so you look at its profile, you look at its edge, and you look at its other profile. As long as it's not chamfered, it's still a good O-ring. But I bought kits, so it doesn't matter. And if I break one, I'll use it. Okay, so I do the same thing on this one. Just pinch it over a little bit, hook them. Okay, now notice I'm holding that there with my thumb. That's so the O-ring doesn't fall back in the groove when I roll around. Okay. So, and you don't want to drag it up over these sharp edges because you will damage the O-ring, and then that can give you false information, especially if you're looking for a problem. Okay, so this one's really good too. It's totally reusable. Okay. All right, so the nut's already loose. So now I'm gonna push down on this nozzle. Okay, I don't usually do it with my finger. I usually do it with the palm of my hand and screw it at the same time. Okay. Until the nut is loose, because I hold the assembly all together. The solenoid there's a spring in there, and it's putting a little pressure on this nozzle. If you look really close, I'll try to hold the nut still, and I'll just push down on it. You can see it moves down a little bit, and that's just it pushing on the spring. Okay, so anyway, it's loose. You can see it's loose. Okay, so I just hold Unsip my finger there and lift it off, okay? Now you can see that that nozzle is actually pretty dirty, and if you look in here, like you can see, it looks like there might have been a little bit of carbon leakage coming up past there, so the cup is probably quite dirty, and it is. If you, I don't know if you can see in there or not. Okay, you can see it is pretty dirty. Okay, there's no O-rings or anything in this headpiece. Okay, the O-ring that seals this is right here. All right, so that's the O-ring that seals that. You can take that all off in one piece, or you can take it apart. Okay, so we're going to take it apart. All right, so that'll be in video 2.